Nice hair. No. Yeah. Okay, so I'm an old student of Stanford's. My graduating year was 2006, so it's been a little while. And yeah, like I was just saying, like some of the best memories of my life, and gained so much, you know, with the class, with the beginning class and the advanced class, and I don't know if we had visitors. I think we did, and donation. I brought a few like donation stuff and anything like that. But anyways, today I'm going to be talking about natural dyes and natural fibers, because that's what I've been getting more into and specializing in, and just all the different routes my life has taken, and just found this over here, talked to this person over there. I got more into organic gardening, and then got more into research about our Florida waters and aquifer and the whole environmental system and what's happening right now. You know, every time you turn around, there's like another animal extinct, you know, or Fukushima going on, or I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. But all these different things that are going on, and it's like, okay, you know, I'm like dabbling with my sewing stuff, but how can I combine the two? Like what I still love to do in my life and want to do, but also contribute to like maybe trying to heal some of this stuff. And so, so I started, well, I got a book from my grandpa, that's how it started, about different crafts, like leather making and woodworking, and there was a chapter on natural dyes. And so that's how I got started, and I just did more research on the internet about the possibilities of it, and it just like turned into this whole huge thing of just like an obsession about it. And it's cool because then that ties back into the environmental thing. It's like, oh, here's an answer. Like, instead of using the chemical dyes like I want to with my fibers, now I can use the, you know, I can be that one small little change by using the natural dyes instead of the chemical dyes. And then, so all of that evolved and all of that. So, and then I started getting more into the fibers too, because fiber production, like cotton for instance, is like the second worst, as far as production-wise in the world, for polluting water. So that's pretty major. That's just cotton alone. So as far as like the farming and the processing and everything that goes into it, you know, that got me searching for more answers. Like, okay, we have to find answers to these problems here, and what is it? Because I still want to use fabrics. I still want to use cotton. I still love how it feels and, you know, wears and everything. So, so anyways, oh, I printed out some little notepad things, and we have enough. I have enough. Okay, for everybody here. But I printed out some little pictures because I really like pictures. And then on the second page, there's resources, websites that you can go check out that I'll go into detail about. Yeah. And I'll talk about those so you can further, if you're interested in like one particular thing. I was going to make like a long list of, you know, like bullets on what I'm going to be talking about today, but there's so much information. Oh, I've got other info in there too. Let me get them passing down.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. But there's so much information, I figured you ladies could write notes on what you think is important for you and that you're interested in particularly, and then you can go back and do more research with the websites that I have on the next page. So, and too, the pictures are inspirational, and more hands-on stuff just helps you remember and like be inspired, you know. So, for me, anyways. All right, first I'm going to go into. I'm going to talk about the fibers first, and then we'll get into the dyes. So, one reason why cotton is so popular, well, I mean, not only, well, the history of other fibers go back just as far as cotton does. But cotton is probably the cheapest. No, it is the cheapest because it's government subsidized. So, and it's not only subsidized here in the U.S., but in other countries, and that's why it seems like it's more cheap, but it's really not. So we have all these other fibers that are way more valuable and that don't deplete our resources nearly as much, but see, they're not being subsidized, so it seems like they cost more, like hemp fiber or bamboo fibers. There's soy fibers out there now. There's so many different fabrics that they're coming up with that they are using the fiber, like a banana tree makes a fiber that can be spun and woven and made into fabric. But see, these other things aren't being subsidized, so therefore they seem like they're costing more, when really most of them cost less in the long run. So I'll just run through the benefits of some of these fibers. So you can see the long-term benefits of them and see how they're actually much more valuable. So cotton, you have to, there's loads of pesticides that are put on cotton. Actually, 12% of the pesticides used in the U.S. goes towards cotton, and 25% of the world's use of pesticides goes to cotton production. And the majority of that is because it's such a huge monocrop. So it's just huge fields of cotton, and so all these bugs, all the things that, all the plants that they would have been eating and all this stuff, so it's totally gone for like miles, So that's why any plant, any monocrop has to use such a large amount of pesticides and herbicides. So hemp grows super quick. It's drought proof. It's flood proof. It actually it doesn't need herbicides or fungicides because it grows so rapidly that nothing can grow up under it. So it is a weed itself. So and it actually replenishes the soil. So it can take out radioactive elements from the ground.
Hemp can?
Yeah. And actually they're looking at growing hemp as a means of healing the area around Fukushima. There's some major articles and talks about that. So, and then also, it's just the fiber production. See, it's illegal to grow even the fiber for hemp in the U.S. because it's totally different than the marijuana, like smoking plant. It's totally different. Like you would have to smoke, an acre of trees to get high, So it's a totally different plant. But you still can't grow that plant here in the U.S. If we were to be able to grow it, it would, through all textiles, fabrics, paper production. I mean, it would totally turn our textile industry around here in the U.S. if we were able to grow the hemp here. So, anyway, so I'll move on to
question over here.
what's that?
They can't grow it, but they can sell products of it?
Yeah, we can import the raw fiber or
Oh.
anything, from it. You just can't grow it. You can't grow it in the ground.
That's weird.
But yeah, we import, like there's actually, there's a website, Hemp Traders, that I put on the resources page, and they actually process the hemp fiber from the raw. So they import the raw fiber and then they have everything processed there, or other companies in the U.S. They have them spin and weave and do all the fabric that they sell there. I think they might actually even sell some roving and some hemp in the raw on that website. I'm not really, you'll have to double check that if you're interested.
But you probably have the people who own the land that sell the trees that are lobbying against the hemp being grown, because then what that's going to do, it's such a better product than if they did grow it, then it would wipe them out.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that back in the day, it was the cotton industry who helped put the hemp industry out.
Yeah.
Because cannabis was originally made from cannabis.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. They were large contributors.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Constitution was, the original Constitution was written on hemp paper.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And so, and then, anyway, yeah, it gets crazy. But the whole political side of all this, textile production, you really wouldn't.
And then they feed the cotton seeds to cattle.
Is that true?
It's true.
I hadn't heard that.
Yes, it's true.
What
So
are the kind of cotton seeds?
The kind that has the poisons on it.
GMO.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all crazy system. Okay, so bamboo. Now there's controversy over bamboo and the processing of bamboo. So to my understanding, there's two different processings of the bamboo. One's more eco-friendly than the other. And the chemical that is used in the non-eco-friendly bamboo processing is actually recycled in the system. So with everything, there's, we're not automatically going to get down to like everything clean and friendly and, non-harmful. Like, there's going to be little baby steps, and if bamboo fabric is going to be more beneficial for us and our economy and for the environment, then that is a stepping stone. So, and also too, bamboo is drought resistant, and it has anybody ever worked with bamboo fiber? It's also called viscose or rayon.
Oh,
Rayon is,
okay.
yeah, it's super awesome. It's like softer than cotton. It drapes really
I
well.
love the feel of it.
Yeah, it's super soft, like buttery, and it's an antimicrobial, and it's just another extremely beneficial crop. Drought tolerant, flood tolerant.
That's very interesting. I never knew that.
And it releases up to 30% more oxygen in the air than compared to other trees nearby, cleaning the air. So, and hemp does as well. Extremely, it cleanses the air. Like,
Are there certain types of bamboo? I know like in some places
yeah.
the bamboo is this big around.
yeah, that would be lumber bamboo.
And then like here, we grow the real skinny stuff.
Yeah, there's like
Is that
probably over 100 different types of bamboo.
just down the street from me on that? I mean, would that be usable? Or is
No.
that kind that's?
Because some fibers are more dense.
Okay.
So you have lumber bamboo, and then you have some bamboo that's like, those little tiny bamboos that have like little crazy
Lucky
squirrels and
bamboos.
lucky bamboos. There's that type. I'm not sure exactly what the type is for fibers. Now, all plants have a fiber in them. And I mean, if you're curious, if you have some in your yard, or you see, your neighbor has some or whatever, and you want to try it out, like, try it out. I mean, you never know because I have a fiber that grows here all around that I didn't know for the longest time had a fiber that has been used for thousands of years by the Native Americans to make rope, and it's called the yucca. I'll go ahead and bring that out. Yeah, do y'all know the yucca plant?
Yeah, my neighbor's got a whole yard of it.
Anybody familiar with the yucca plant?
It's got a real sharp point on it.
I almost brought a leaf in, and
It's not the century plant.
no, it's not the century plant. It has sword-like.
Banyan, like a banyan?
It's more dense. It doesn't grow as tall, I mean, it can grow tall, but, it's got all these little sword leaves coming out, and they are sharp. If you run into them, they will stick you.
Yeah, they actually, the tips were used as like needles by the
Oh.
Native Americans. But anyways, this plant that grows everywhere here, especially on the beach, and sometimes it has a really tall stalk that comes up, and has white blooms all over it. But this stuff is everywhere, and this is the fiber that comes out of it. Just soaking the leaves in water under the sun for, indefinitely. I mean, at least for a week, for enough for the green to, break down. And it smells horrible, but this is what you get, and I'll pass this around.